Welcome to Eating Healthy During Pregnancy. I'm Lori Jean Ellis, and today I'm going to be talking to you about eating habits that are going to help you stay healthy during pregnancy and grow a healthy baby. We're going to be talking about 6 guidelines for healthy eating, how to choose nutrient-dense foods, cover 3 special nutrients, talk about testing for gestational diabetes, and cover some safety precautions. Guideline number 1. Most days, try to eat 3 meals a day with a few snacks. Try to space meals and snacks 2 to 3 hours apart. During pregnancy, a woman's blood sugar runs 5 to 10 points lower than when she's not pregnant. This means a pregnant woman is at greater risk for developing a low blood sugar. Eating snacks between meals helps to prevent low blood sugars between meals, as depicted by the green line in this graph. The other thing is, your unborn child depends on you for energy, and their energy comes from the glucose or the sugar in your bloodstream. You really are eating for 2, and your baby is depending on you for energy for growth and development. 2. Eat a bedtime snack. Try not to go without food more than 10 hours during the night. Number 3. Drink plenty of caffeine-free, sugar-free fluids. 4. Limit coffee to 2 cups per day. 5. Limit artificial sweeteners to 1 to 2 servings per day. Guideline 6. Try to eat from each food group most every day. I wanted to spend a few minutes on this slide. So as you look at this, the colored numbers on each of the food groups are suggestions for how many servings per day. So let's talk about each food group. Now at the top it actually is starches, which include grains and starchy vegetables. When we talk about servings per day, for this group, usually a half a cup is a serving. Next to the right are your non-starchy vegetables. And again, about a half a cup of cooked non-starchy is a serving, or a cup of raw non-starchy vegetables. Then we have the fruit group, suggested 2 servings a day. Serving sizes of fruit can be like an apple, an orange, a piece of fruit you can hold in your hand, or a cup of cut up fruit or a cup of berries. Then we have protein. So there's eggs, meat, cheese, nuts are in the protein group, and this is an ounce of protein. So we see recommendation of 6 ounces a day. Then the last group, we circle up to the dairy group so you can get your calcium, plus there's also more protein in the dairy group, suggestion of 3 servings per day. Next, let's talk about choosing nutrient-dense foods. Now, most of your food groups are naturally nutrient-dense. Vegetables, fruit, high-protein foods, dairy. And there's just really one food group that tends to get abused, and that's the grain group. So let's take a deeper dive and look at grains. There are 2 types of grains, whole grains and refined grains. While they're both in the grain group, there's big differences between the 2 types. Whole grains contain fiber and lots of vitamins and minerals. Refined grains have had most or all the fiber removed, along with most of the vitamins and minerals. Now, fiber is really important because it helps to balance out your blood sugars, plus it helps to prevent constipation, which can be a problem for pregnant women. This is a diagram of a whole grain. The outer covering is the bran and contains the fiber, plus B vitamins, magnesium, vitamin E, and iron. The germ contains the same nutrients minus the fiber. Then there's the endosperm, and it's primarily starch with a little bit of protein. Now, refined grains only contain the endosperm. When you're shopping for whole grains, look on the nutrition label and look for fiber. Whole grains will always have at least 2 grams of fiber per serving. You can see on the right is an example of a refined grain, and there is 0 grams of fiber per serving. It takes a lot of nutrients to keep your body healthy during pregnancy and grow a healthy baby. Try to avoid and/or limit foods and drinks with added sugar. These are nutrient-depleted, empty calories. You might be wondering about foods that contain naturally occurring sugars, like fruit and milk. Well, these two food groups are packed with vitamins and minerals and are an important part of a nutritious diet. It is recommended that pregnant women take a prenatal vitamin daily. Now, prenatal vitamins are different from a regular multivitamin because they contain the exact right amount of folic acid. Folic acid helps to prevent devastating brain and spinal cord deformities. Next, I want to talk about 2 other important nutrients during pregnancy. Pregnant moms need 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day. Now, we all know that calcium is an important mineral for building bones. Here's the thing. If mom isn't consuming enough calcium during pregnancy, the growing baby inside of her will actually get calcium from mom's bones. So it is mom's bone density that is suffering if she doesn't consume enough calcium. Dairy products like milk, yogurt, and cheese provide the best source of calcium in the diet. Now, some vegetables and nuts do have calcium in them, but not the same amount as what the dairy does. Some leafy greens like kale, collard greens, parsley, and turnip greens contain the most calcium out of the vegetables. However, you would have to eat 6 cups of these vegetables to equal 3 cups of milk. So what are other sources then that are more reasonable? Well, some women who are not milk drinkers choose to drink a milk alternative like soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk. And then there's always calcium supplements that you can take. Just if you take a calcium supplement, make sure that it includes vitamin D3 to facilitate optimum absorption of that calcium. Not uncommon for a pregnant woman to be diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia. Here's the thing. During pregnancy, iron requirements almost double. So where is the iron in the diet? Well, meat, seafood, beans, and fortified cereals have the highest amounts of iron, with red meat being the richest source. There are 2 things you need to know about iron absorption. Vitamin C increases iron absorption, and calcium blocks iron absorption. So the moral to this story, when you are eating an iron-rich meal, try to combine a citrus fruit or strawberries, which are rich in vitamin C, or take a vitamin C supplement. And the same goes for when you are taking an iron supplement, and then at the same time avoiding calcium during that meal or when you take your iron supplement. Doctors generally check for anemia about halfway through the pregnancy, or about 20 weeks. Now, the other thing that's checked at this time is gestational diabetes. I want to say a few things about gestational diabetes, also known as pregnancy-induced diabetes. It's super important to get checked for it, and if diagnosed with it, take action to control your blood sugars during your pregnancy. Here's why it's so important. High blood glucose can hurt your unborn baby. Glucose is food for your unborn baby. When your blood glucose is high, your baby gets extra glucose that he or she does not need. In other words, your baby gets overfed. Overfed babies can grow too big. Also, when your blood glucose is high, your baby gets less oxygen. Babies who are overfed in their mother's womb are at higher risk for being injured during birth. They also are at risk for hypoglycemia at birth and requiring admission to an intensive care unit. They're at risk for being born premature and higher risk for developing childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes. So, you can see why it's so important to get tested for gestational diabetes and know what your blood sugars are during pregnancy. If you are diagnosed with diabetes during pregnancy, know this: taking action to control your blood sugar will protect your unborn child from harm. So some things you might be asked to do would be to follow a meal plan, learn how to minimize blood sugar spikes with food choices and serving sizes, eat a balanced meal, stay within recommended guidelines for weight gain. Exercise will be part of your program, blood sugar monitoring, and taking medication. Next, I want to share a few important safety precautions during pregnancy. Pregnant women should not drink unpasteurized milk. It could contain bacteria that can be harmful to your unborn child. A pregnant woman should not drink unpasteurized fruit juice for the same reason. These are the safety precautions about protein. Pregnant women should not eat raw meat, raw fish, raw eggs, or lunch meat and hot dogs that have not been heated to a hot temperature. The reason being, they may contain bacteria that can be harmful to the unborn child. In addition, avoid these fish: swordfish, jack mackerel, tilefish, and shark, because these fish are notorious for having high mercury levels, which is definitely harmful to the unborn child. It is my hope that every pregnant woman watching this video will have a healthy pregnancy and deliver a healthy baby. Remember, eating healthy during pregnancy can make a big difference.